What up, everybody? So, I was kind of going to go over, when, let's just say when the shit goes down, the shift goes down, and everybody's going crazy. Hypothetically, if it gets to that point. And this is just my own personal opinion, you know, I just think rational about things. Most people, most Americans don't have a place to go outside of their home. So these are some things that I think could be useful in protecting your house until maybe you could get out or you could think of a place to go or something. But for the most part, most Americans don't have a place to go other than their house when things get crazy. So in your neighborhood, if you live in a neighborhood, I'm assuming there are probably going to be some people that are going to be leaving that probably do have stuff in other places. Well, some things you can do to fortify your house. Now look, I'm not a professional. I'm crazy. You can't listen to half the shit I say. But some of the things that you could probably do to fortify your house is there's going to be abandoned cars all over the place. You know, maybe you could push cars around your house for, you know, some kind of, you know, barricade. There's going to be lots of vacant houses. Tear down the fences. Bring those pieces of fences to your house. Make walls. Set booby traps, you know, around your house, other than just having an open space. You know, when everything goes down and goes crazy, a lot of preppers talk about, you know, how much food you got, where you're going, have lots of ammo, have lots of gun, and we all get that, but you know, not everybody may have all the money to do all that. So, and then a lot of preppers talk about being super healthy. Well, most Americans have to work 5-6 days a week. And most of us don't have time to just go work out all the time because we have families to support. Most of us are in fairly decent shape. Probably not the best, but fairly decent. So on the flip side, other than just stacking food and guns and ammo, you know, you're going to have to think about the aftermath, okay? When you have to start figuring out how to solve problems, okay? Let's just say now, you have got out and you're going somewhere and you're moving around. You might move around 2 or 3 different places before maybe you find a nice place you might want to be at with your family, or you find other people there. I mean, you're going to have to figure out how to make power, you know, farming, how to make oil, you know, because nobody's carrying hundreds of gallons of kerosene with them for lanterns. Nobody's carrying hundreds of pounds of ammo. If you've ever carried ammo, you're not carrying boxes and boxes of ammo, because that shit, it gets heavy, you know? So when you get to a spot where you're going, you're going to have to figure out how to sustain, let's build something now, you know? So you're going to have people in your group that aren't going to have the same skills as everybody else. And I know a lot of preppers talk about this too, but a lot of preppers all talk about, oh, well, everybody has to fight. Everybody has to. Well, not everybody is going to be, you know, the best fighter in the world or the best at, you know, tactical stuff. So you're going to need people in your group that's going to be able to think outside the box and say, okay, what's around us? What can we take from what to make something? You know, okay, it's cold outside. We need to try to get some heat going or something. You know, there will probably be plenty of abandoned diesels everywhere that probably might have some diesel in them. You know, you can make what they call lizard heaters. You have to look it up. You know, how are we going to make power? I mean, there's going to be all kinds of shit floating around. Cars have alternators. Cars have batteries. There's probably going to be a shit ton of batteries in cars laying around. You start taking parts and making generators. Plumbing, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Unless you're just going to, you know, crap in a bucket. But you're eventually going to run out of paper in the bucket, or you're going to have to take the bucket and dump it out every time, and then that shit's going to start getting stinky. Or you're going to make a porta potty. You're going to dig a hole in the ground for everybody to go to the restroom in. That's another option. If you do find a place that, a building or something with other people that has plumbing, well, now let's figure a way to get water rolling. You know, you're going to have to figure out plumbing. You're going to have to figure out electricity. You're going to have to figure out all these other different things on top of trying to survive. So I think a lot of stuff that preppers do, like a lot of these guys on these channels, I don't think they talk enough about the aftermath. Okay, so now we've survived a couple months. Now we've traveled around and we have found a place where we want to be. Now what? Are we just going to sit here and hope and wish? No, you're going to have to start scrounging and finding, and you're going to have to start putting things that don't go together to make something work. You know, that's where different people in your group come in that have different skill sets. And other than just prepping food and ammo and working out, I mean, you really should start looking at how electricity works, on how basic plumbing is. You know, just like handyman stuff. How would this work with this? Because after the aftermath, that's all it's going to be. You're just going to be trying to figure out how to make something work. And a lot of that is overlooked, you know. How are you going to get power? Most everything, cars, because there's going to be a shitload of cars floating around, so you're going to have plenty of car parts, alternators, batteries, 12 volts, you know. Start making electricity out of 12 volts. Water pumps run on 12 volts, you know. When you put pipe in the ground for, if you're trying to get water, you know, they run on, most everything runs on 12 volts. Plumbing, you know. How do we get the crap out to somewhere, you know, if it's not already set up? You're going to have to know a little bit about plumbing. You're going to have to know a little bit about everything, basically, other than just stockpiling food and this and that. And for the most part, you know, if you have stockpiled a bunch of food, you're not going to be able to take all that shit with you. A bunch of ammo, you stockpile a bunch of ammo, you're not going to be able to take all that stuff with you. Unless, you know, you're a millionaire and you have a big bunker already made out in the middle of nowhere where it's already full of stuff. But the majority of American people don't have that. The majority of American people have, you know, a few thousand rounds or a few hundred rounds of ammo with 1 or 2 guns. That's the normal American, you know. And you do have a few that have, you know, crazy amount of guns. But I'm just talking normal, everyday people that work 9 to 5, you know. If you're trying to move around, you can't carry a bunch of stuff with you, you know. And you can, and a lot of these prepper channels, you know, well, these prepper guys, they talk about, you know, you could carry this and carry this and carry this and carry this. I mean, that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't know how to use that stuff, or it gets to be so much weight, because if you've never carried that much weight at one time, you're gonna die. Put all that stuff in the backpack and carry it around for a day. Go out hiking with all that stuff on you for a day. Just walk around your neighborhood and you'll die. We do a lot of backpacking and stuff with the Boy Scouts. Man, you'll be dead by the end of the day just trying to carry all that stuff. It's not going to happen. Like what I have in my house for my family, we each have a backpack. And I have basically the same things in each backpack. So if we do get separated, each person has a little bit of medical, each person has some food and water, and each person has some ammo. A little sleeping bag, just little things that you're really going to need. Carrying 100 pounds of rope and all this other crazy shit, man, you're not going to use all that shit. If you're trying to move around, you're going to be hiding in the bushes. You're not going to be setting up a camp. When you're running around and it goes crazy and you're trying to get out and people are going nuts robbing people, and man, you're not setting camp up. You're going to be hiding in the bushes. You're going to be trying to move around in the dark. And that's how it's going to be. So some of that stuff that they had talk about you carrying, I don't carry it. I'm not going to carry all that stuff because you're not going to use all that shit. You're not going to be running out of a city because everything's gone chaotic, setting camp up. You're going to be hiding in the bushes. You're going to be moving around real easy. If you didn't get in a car and leave, and go somewhere, if you do have a truck that you can throw a bunch of stuff in and burn off and go as far as you can in the truck and then pick through the stuff that you have and then set off on foot, you could do that. But the end result is when you get to where you're going to go, or if you find a place with other people and they let you in, or you just meet up with a group and y'all find a spot, you're going to have to come to a place where you're going to have to start rebuilding your own little personal society, and you're going to have to figure out how to make oil for heating or whatever, lanterns, light. You're going to have to figure out lights, plumbing, water. You have to figure out all that kind of stuff. So while you're trying to do all this prepping for food and all this, think about that kind of stuff too. Now I'm sure people have gone over that in videos, but I don't see a lot of it. And I watch a lot of prepping videos and stuff. They don't really talk about to the place where you're going, how you're going to rebuild, what you're going to have to do. It's going to be hard too, to do all that shit, to rebuild and to try to function again. If you have not even looked at any of that, you're going to be clueless. You're going to be sitting in the dark. You're going to be trying to look for water. You're trying to be doing a lot of stuff. That's just my opinion and my advice, other than just prepping for food and bullets and how are we going to get out, because most people don't know where they're going to end up at. You might have a place where you want to go, but that might be the first or second stop. You might have to move around after that. You might have to move around after that. So everything that you have taken, you're probably going to be whittled down to a little bit of nothing at the end of it, until you get to a spot where you're going to go. I don't know, it's just my opinion. People probably think I'm crazy. Comment if you like. Don't hurt my feelings none. I'm not always right, not always wrong, but when it comes down to it, and you have left your house, and you went to one spot, and then you have to move to another spot, and then you have to move to another spot, and you get, say, close to an end destination of where you're going to go, that's when you have to start using your head and thinking about all the stuff around you, how to take this from that and this from that, and build stuff and make something work. And I think that's a lot of issues people aren't thinking about. They're in spot. But I don't know, comment, see what you think. Alright, that's it.